3 years ago, I came to Harvester because a friend of mine told me about Journey to Bethlehem, and I told her I wasn't religious. I told her it wasn't really my thing. I'm not really a churchgoer, and it was an experience. You know, the camels and sheep and people in the woods and everything that they had. I probably waited a week or two, maybe 3, and then I decided to come check out a service. And the very first service that I came to, our worship leader, Brad Streeter, he did a worship song, and then he had his wife come up on stage, and they decided to talk about losing their son, Louis. I just couldn't believe he was being so vulnerable, so open, you know, like the courage that he and Courtney had to just share their story with a room of like, I don't know, 800 strangers. It was just, it was mind-boggling to me. That's when I kind of looked around and I thought, like, this place is special, so I should keep coming. And I actually met Brad and some people on the worship team and told them that I play drums, and they said that they do need another drummer, but being where I am, like, I wasn't religious. I wasn't sure where I was in my walk with God or with Jesus. I think I spent most of my life pretty angry. I always just kind of shied away from churches and religion. Fast forward to February 2021. I had gone through a pretty tough breakup, well, an extremely tough breakup, and just kind of felt like I was hitting rock bottom. And I got an email from Brad that said, "Can you play drums next Sunday?" And I looked at that email and I was like, no way. Like, there's no way I can go to church. And Brad finally texted me and was like, "Hey, let me know if you can play on Sunday." And I told him I'm having a really hard time. I don't know if I can. And so he had just recommended that I come in and I play. And so I was like, okay. And it was the last song of the service. I remember just the lyrics and everything just really connecting with me while I was playing. And I just started sobbing. And so while I was crying, I remember leaning over and I was trying to play, and my vision was blurry because of my tears, and my tears were dropping on my drum. And I remember after that song that I just needed some time alone. I made a beeline for the stairwell, and everyone else went to the green room. And I remember reaching for the door handle, and Brad tapped me on the back. Whew. And he was just like, "Will you walk with me for a second?" And I was like, "Not right now." Like, now's not a good time. And so he said, just come walk with me. And so I walked with him, and I remember him pulling me aside and just giving me a hug and just telling me that God loves me. And I remember, like, I started to lose feeling in my legs. Like, I started to kind of lose the strength in my legs, and I told him I have to sit down or lay down or something. And so I just went down to my knees and just kind of laid on the floor. And I just kind of closed my eyes, and I remember kind of having this vision. I was in like a dark room, and I remember like a brick in my vision. I remember a brick falling and like light shining through the brick, and then another brick falling and another one, and then they all end up falling. And all that was left was just like this light, this warmth. And I just remember feeling safe. So having all of these feelings and going through this, I didn't know what to do next. So I talked with Brad a lot. I met with Doyle a lot. And kind of the next step in my journey was I wanted to get baptized. So Brad and Doyle both baptized me. When they put me in the water and pulled me out, it was silent for a second, and I just felt like, just like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. It's that resurrection, it's that second chance, it's that I'm so glad it happened to me now. You know, like, what's the saying? Like, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. And so I'm so glad I found this now compared to down the road.